Good afternoon, everyone. You are here to join our Tradewind Solutions Marketplace webinar. Thank you for joining us. I see all the attendees coming in, and I believe we can go ahead and get started. It's 1:31, so I'll hand it over to Fiona Litlock to kick us off. Thank you, Fiona.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Fiona Litlock. I am the communications lead for the Tradewind Solutions Marketplace and for Tradewind on the whole. Thanks again for joining us. We're really happy to have this opportunity to share with you all the great things about the Solutions Marketplace. We do these webinars throughout the month, generally about 2 a month, to make sure we're getting the message out there about the marketplace and about how industry innovators, academics, and other individual innovators can create solutions and get it in front of eager customer buyers. So what we're going to do momentarily is get into a quick presentation about the Solutions Marketplace, but really that's not the focus of today's event. We want to make sure that we give all of you an opportunity to ask questions and learn more about it. And we want to hear from you directly in terms of what you're looking for from us and how we can help you be a success on the marketplace. So we have with us today Gene Del Coco, who is a federal acquisitions SME. He's been in the game for a long time and has a lot of knowledge to impart to you today. And we also have Rosa Johnson, who is a director of contracts and helps with a lot of the contracts that come through the marketplace. So, and both of them and myself also have been intimately involved with the design and the developments and launching of the marketplace. And we all want to make sure it's a success for both the government and for all of you. So without further ado, we'll jump in. I want to just cover a couple of housekeeping items first. If anyone has any questions as we move through, please don't hesitate to drop it into the Q&A panel. We did get some questions that came in when people registered. So I'll answer some of those now just because we can kind of get those out of the way and leave more time for real-time questions. Someone was asking if the Tradewind Marketplace is the same as a CDAO marketplace. So I think there's a little bit of confusion that I'm happy to help clarify. So CDAO has an exchange, and sometimes it's referred to as an ecosystem. And I think that might be what that person was referring to. So that ecosystem is a place where you'll see, various announcements, and there's a community in there that you can interact with various people there. The Solutions Marketplace is housed within that exchange. So it's not like it's two separate things. The marketplace actually lives in that CDAO Tradewind exchange. So, and we'll navigate to it. I'll do a screen share and I'll show you guys how that works. And one quick thing, someone referred to Tradewind as Tradewinds. I'm a little bit of a stickler. It's actually singular. It's Tradewind Solutions Marketplace. Someone asked, how can new solutions be introduced into the marketplace? This is exactly how. We're going to tell you how. Really, if you have a solution and you want to get it in front of government buyers, you make a 5-minute video, you drop it into the marketplace, and it's there. Think of it like as an Amazon. If you have a product, you make a video solution about it, you drop it into the marketplace, and then government buyers just come in and shop, basically. So that's how you introduce your solutions to government buyers. The government parties start joining the platform. So it's not so much that government buyers join the platform, it's that the government customers can go in and see what's in there, whether they're just perusing or they know specifically, hey, I need a solution in this particular type of technology. They're going to go in and see what satisfies their particular needs. So it's not about the government buyers joining, it's just about them going in and shopping. The other question was about quantum computing and whether Tradewind had an interest in utilizing quantum computing. The short answer is yes. I think the government is looking for any type of advanced technology, AI, ML, digital data analytics, quantum, anything that can solve the problems that they know that they have, or perhaps problems that they don't know that they have, which we refer to as blue sky technologies, and we'll get into that as well. So if someone has a solution, relating to quantum, make a video, drop it in the marketplace, and let's see what happens. Someone was saying that a video can be expensive to produce, and they're asking what's the likelihood of it being seen to ensure that there's a return on investment. So we have made the marketplace super, super easy and super user-friendly. We do not want you to spend a ton of money on, you don't need to hire a Hollywood producer to make your video. You can literally take your cell phone, and make your video. We really heavily focus on the content more so than the production quality. As long as we can hear you and understand what you're saying, and as long as you're answering specific requests that are located in the rubric, you're going to be fine. It's not so much about spending a ton of money. It's more about making sure that you effectively communicate the value that your solution is providing to the government. The other thing I'll say about that is, you can have a great solution, or you can have, a not so great solution and have a great video production quality wise, and it's still not going to get through. If you have a great solution and, a homemade video, but everything is clear, you're going to be better off than not having a great solution, having a great video, if that makes sense. Someone was asking how we can join the marketplace. We're going to go through all of that. It's a super simple process. And I'll actually show you, we'll do a screen share and I'll show you how you can get into it. So, and someone asked, we feel invisible. How can small companies with innovative IT capabilities be more visible in the ecosystem? So the best way to get more visible in the ecosystem is to drop a video solution into the marketplace. That's how you get more visible in front of government customers. That's the easiest way. The solutions marketplace is how you become more visible. This is it. So you're in the right place. And is it possible to lengthen response time for posted opportunities? I think this points to some of the confusion between the ecosystem and the solutions marketplace. The opportunities that this person's referring to is probably some of the opportunities that they're seeing in the Tradewind ecosystem, the Tradewind exchange. And that that's not the solutions marketplace. So the solutions marketplace doesn't really have any deadlines. You drop your video in, you go through an assessment process, which happens on a rolling basis, and you either get accepted into the marketplace or you don't. And if you don't, we tell you why, and you're welcome to revise your video and resubmit. You could resubmit ad nauseum. You can resubmit a million different times. And we'll tell you why, it didn't get in, and you resubmit, and then hopefully the next time you do get in. And once you're in, you're in. There's no deadline for that. So I think the deadlines that this person was referring to speaks on some of the deadlines in the opportunities that are listed in the Tradewind exchange, which is a little bit different. And we'll show you that. So I've talked a lot. Hopefully that answers some of the questions that people had when they registered. Now I will turn it over to Jean and Rosa. I will go off camera and we're going to get into some of our slides. But again, if you have any questions, please just let us know in real time. Drop it in the Q&A panel. I'll be monitoring that and we'll make sure you get all your questions answered. So Jean, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gene Del Coco, and hopefully I could walk you through some of the high points of the Tradewind Solutions Marketplace, how you can participate, what value it's going to be to you as a provider of technology for the DoD. Our focus is really to allow anyone to come in and submit to the Tradewind Solutions Marketplace. We're looking for small businesses, large businesses, not-for-profits, individual researchers are fine, academia. The pathway for you is the same, and each will be considered in the same way as we go through. Fiona, let's go to the next slide. Fiona mentioned some of this already, but I just wanted to kind of give a definition of what the marketplace is. The Solutions Marketplace is a centralized video repository for AI, ML, digital and data analytics solutions. Okay, it is a place where the government, as Fiona said, as a shopper for technology or for solutions to their problems, can go to and select a video or view a video that has been submitted and has been evaluated as awardable under that under the marketplace. It is the perfect on-ramp, for the people I talked about to introduce themselves to the DoD, especially those who have not done business with the Department of Defense before. This is a simple, easy way. It doesn't require you to have a BD manager or something to, get FaceTime. you're getting face time on the marketplace. And I think that's a very important distinction there. One of the most important things about the marketplace, and you can look at this as market research, you can look at it as just a place to store technologies, but the marketplace is a little bit more than, it's a lot more than that. Each of the videos that is on the marketplace and will be available to those government customers has been evaluated, and I'll explain that evaluation process in a little bit, but are considered readily awardable. So when a video has been evaluated and considered awardable, it is then posted on the marketplace. There is no further competition required for any government customer in order to purchase the product or the services as described in that video. So you're going through it's kind of a backwards approach. When you think about a normal acquisition, someone asks you for a white paper or ask you for a proposal, those are collected, they're evaluated, they'll go through an evaluation process, selections are made and so forth and so on. We're moving that evaluation process right up front. So those that are considered awardable and are evaluated that way are considered immediately available to any government customer through a variety of different means. Okay, the evaluations are considered valid by the federal acquisition regulations, the DFARS, and they meet all of the statutes, policies, and guidances for non-traditional contracting, like other transaction authorities. So you get through that wicket, and like I said, everything after that is really non-competitive. Next slide. Yeah. Thank you. I'd like to kind of just hit some highlights about the Tradewind Solution Marketplace as compared to traditional. Now, I won't do a side-by-side comparison here, but let me just say that the whole design of the Tradewind Marketplace was to increase the speed to contract, or it's actually increased the speed to acquiring the technologies and getting them in the hands of the eventual user. We tried to develop a process that would increase that speed and increase the availability of these technologies that either the government knows about or is yet to know about, and get them into the hands of the eventual user within the DoD. As Fiona mentioned, there's a very low barrier to entry. This requires a 5-minute video. So anyone who has a good idea and someone who can explain it and has a cell phone, you can make one of these videos and submit it. And by the way, we've gone through 3 sets of collections. This whole process was initiated on the 1st of November. We've completed the evaluations that were done through the November timeframe, or collected during November. We do this on a monthly basis. So we collected videos between the 1st and the 30th of November. We then collected between the 1st of December and the 31st of December, and we'll do so each month. The evaluation occurs almost immediately after we reach the end of that collection period. And the evaluation takes probably about 5 days, and you'll be notified shortly after that whether you're awardable or not awardable. And we'll get into how you're notified and so forth. So the whole process has been very, very streamlined in order to keep the pace of the program going, and to make these technologies available to potential customers, who, by the way, are already knocking at the door saying, okay, when am I going to start seeing the videos, which they've begun. We Of the 20 videos that were collected in November, 10 were considered awardable. They were posted on the Tradewind Marketplace website within about 2 weeks after the collection was completed. And we've already had government customers go in and start perusing those. And in fact, a few of those government customers have already asked for additional information, started communicating with the vendors who submitted those videos, and are in the process of working some acquisition approach or acquisition strategy in order to purchase those technologies. I wanted to mention that this whole process is very, very transparent. So when you submit a video, it will acknowledge that we have received that video. As we go into evaluation, you will know that you're going into evaluation at that particular time. The results of that evaluation usually results in feedback, to both the awardable and the non-awardable vendors. So we can tell either category, what they did well, and the other side, what they need to do to improve. What we've done with the November submissions, those that were not considered awardable at that time, we have had separate and individual one-on-one sessions with those submitters to they and the evaluators to discuss the results, and then listen to some suggestions on how those videos may be made better. Now, a video can be uploaded at any time during any of those monthly collection periods. You have the right to go in anytime during that collection period, and if you had a better idea or you thought maybe you missed something, you can correct that video and resubmit it. It's fine. They're offered to the evaluation team at the end of the month, or after at the end of that month. You'll also, like I said, the evaluators during their evaluation process use your submission. When you submit to the Tradewind Marketplace, you have a page which has your information on it, is viewable by you only, and of course then the evaluators. And there's a comment section on the right-hand side where the evaluators can ask you a question, ask for a clarification, and it's the same location you will receive your feedback. And then if you're awardable, that's where the government customers will communicate with you. So with that, like I said, there is no need in the marketplace for white papers, proposals, so forth and so on. What we're trying to do right now is to get your technology in front of that government customer, and at a minimum, we want to start the dialogue between you and that potential customer. Go to the next one. Thank you. So, in short, you start the process by registering, and Fiona will get into this a little bit later when she gives you a demonstration of it, but you'll go into the tradewinai.com. You'll register on tradewinai.com. You'll then proceed to the marketplace, which you'll see how that's done. And then you submit your video. Actually, just upload your video, and there's some metadata that we request that you submit also, like a little written summary of what the substance of your video is, what focus area you're addressing, what the TRL level is, your principal investigator, things of that nature, which will follow your video through the process. That video, the videos that are collected during any collection period are then presented to a peer panel call it an evaluation panel, and it's made up of government, academia, and industry. And by the way, those industry members are all covered by NDAs, cannot release any of your information, although we do ask that the information that you provide in the video be non-proprietary as much as you can possibly do that with and still get your point across. The panel will evaluate against a rubric which is contained in the announcement for the Tradewind Marketplace, and they will do an evaluation. You will be scored, and then either come out as awardable or not awardable, and there will be feedback provided to you either in an awardable or a not awardable status. So you know what you did well, and the other side will know what they need to do in order to improve the video and to correct or to provide a better video. Once a video is accepted, it goes onto the marketplace. It's posted on the marketplace, and that's where the government, any government individual, by the way, who's looking for technology, there's no joining of the marketplace. They have immediate access to the marketplaces. They can go on, and as Fiona said, they can shop. They can do it for market research. There's some search tools that are in there. And if they have a particular interest, they can immediately engage with that submitter as far as acquiring the technology. Go to the next one. We could talk about what this means to you, but I think the biggest point here is that it does not, the Tradewind Marketplace, Solutions Marketplace, does not follow the normal acceptable or accepted ways of going through a normal acquisition. Somebody asked the question, well, there's a short time frame. I need to respond within a couple of days. Like I said, the marketplace is pretty regimented as far as how we collect and when we collect, how we evaluate, and like I said, it's a continuously open announcement, so you can go to that announcement at any time, and you can submit at any of those periods, and you can continue to submit, like I said, as you have new ideas or as you want to refine your idea. There's no limit to the number of videos that you can submit in any given period or over all of the periods. And there's no limit to the number of awards that you can get. So if you have 5 customers that love your idea, those 5 customers can buy your technology from you. And there's no funding ceilings to this. So whatever is negotiated in the price of that particular either contract or agreement, if it's under an OTA. All terms are negotiable, like they are on OTAs, and you have availability. Someone mentioned the CDAO. The CDAO has a number of contracts in place right now, kind of open contracts. Those are also potential contract pathways for anything that's collected on the marketplace. Okay, go to the next one, Fiona.
Jean, before we go to the next slide, our Q&A is blowing up, which is fantastic. Thank you to everyone who's submitting questions. I wanted to pose a few questions to you, Jean, so we can get some of these answered as we go.
Okay.
Are there ceiling values for awards made through the marketplace?
No, there is no ceiling to any award value or any award.
Okay, fantastic. How many awards have been made to date from the marketplace?
Right now, remember, we started in November. We collected in November. We evaluated those November submissions. There were 20, and 10 of which were awardable, 10 were not. In December, we collected 14. Those are in evaluation right now. in January. Of the ones
Okay.
that were awardable and on the marketplace, there have been at least 3 to 4 government customers that have already looked at it and have begun discussions on buying the technologies that have been posted on the marketplace.
Okay, if someone already submitted video and their video is under review right now, where would they anticipate seeing any questions, comments, feedback? That would be in the actual marketplace, right, Gene? They have to log back into the marketplace to see the feedback?
Yes, I usually send a message out. Now, the marketplace, the actual website is being improved each of these months. Right
Mhm.
now, we don't have an automated notification process. That should be in place within the next month or so, where you will be notified first when your video is received, so you know it's there. Number 2, you'll get feedback when it's going into evaluation. The third notification would be if anyone left a comment on your video page, then you'll get a notification to go there and look at that comment. And then you will get a notification if it's awardable or not awardable. And with those, there's with the awardable or not awardable status, there's feedback that goes along with that.
Right. So yeah, just a quick note to everyone. So we just launched this, and to Gene's point, we are iterating and continually developing the marketplace. We just launched November 1st. So, we're sort of in the baby phase. So we are adding features as we go. But as of right now, unfortunately, you won't get a notification when feedback is dropped into your video page on the marketplace. You physically have to go into the marketplace to see that feedback.
Yeah,
but
I have.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. When I have notified the submitters that are being evaluated right now. Before the evaluation began, I sent messages to all of them and stated that they should keep an eye on their page so that if there is something submitted, they know they're in the evaluation process, and just keep a close eye on any comments that have come in from the evaluators.
Yeah, that's a best practice. And I don't know if you guys are taking notes, but at the end, we'll sort of review some of the, best practices and things that you can do to ensure you put in a great submission and increase your chance of getting into the marketplace. That is one of them. Make sure you constantly check your video page on the marketplace itself. A number of you are asking about government customers. Are government parties already present on the platform? If yes, can you give a brief idea of who's active on the platform? Another person asked a similar question. So again, think of it like a Walmart or an Amazon. If we're Amazon, we just know that we provide products on this particular platform, right? Like we don't always know who's going in there to shop, right? But at the same time, we do know that government customers have reached out to us, and we are working with some directly, and we're not going to, divulge who those are. But there is interest from the government side, while we're, getting the word out to you guys about the marketplace, we're also doing the same thing on the government side to make sure the government customers know, hey, this thing exists. If you have a need for an advanced technology in the AI, ML, digital data analytics space, come to the marketplace, because we're continually populating it with great solutions. So, to say, who's in the marketplace on the government side, we can't necessarily tell you that because they're shoppers, right? They're going to go in and they're going to see what's available. From your end, just make sure you get solutions on there and trust that we're doing everything we possibly can to get the word out to the government side that this thing exists and solutions exist in there. But we've already had a lot of good traction on the government side. So hopefully that answers the question. Gene, what are the contracting vehicles for buyers to purchase off the marketplace?
Yeah, there's a variety of different contract pathways. As I mentioned, there's all of the CDAO contracts that are in place. There's what I call non-traditional contracting, which is the other transaction authorities which can be used. This is probably a good time to mention that this is also a plan for a distributed contracting arrangement so that if a particular customer wants to use his own or her own contracting activity, that can be done. So let's say you had a Navy customer come in and the Navy said, oh, I want this technology. It's already been evaluated. They can take it to their Navy acquisition office and say, here, purchase this for me. So it can be done that way. For those of you who are involved in consortia, okay, if you're a consortium member for one of the many consortia that are available today, and your customer happens to be a sponsor for an OTA through a consortium and wants to use that consortium agreement to and the OTA agreement in that consortium to award, they can use that. So there's a variety of different contract pathways that can be used for this.
So a lot of possibilities, a lot of options. Are you on the GSA schedule program? Gene, that's for you.
No.
Okay. As long as we're a U.S. company that has received SBIRs and has an active DoD contract, can we submit a video and participate, or do we need to have had an IDIQ?
No, if you're a SBIR contractor, you've had a contract, you can submit that SBIR because stage 3 SBIRs, can be accepted and be advertised as part of the marketplace.
How long are videos posted for? Can that be updated or changed if the technology is updated? Absolutely. Like
yes to all of those.
Yes. And what, Gene, once the video is on there, it's on there, right? We don't pull it off at any time. That's right. And and on your side, guys, whenever you have an update, go in there and just upload your latest video. Make changes all the time. It's fine. We want to make sure we're getting the latest and greatest from you. I think we already touched on this. What is the contract type? DFAR, OTA, SBIR for purchases on the marketplace?
All of the above.
All of the above. Yeah, exactly. Understood that there are a variety of contracting pathways, but the funding and a setup of contract all take time. Does this just eliminate / check the block for the competitive procurement? I'll leave that to you, Gene.
Yeah, you can look at this. Again, it all depends on the customer. If you have a customer who looks, a government customer who looks at this video and says, I love just what they gave me, then the next thing would be to just, put together the contract vehicle, whatever that's going to be, the project agreement or contract, work out the terms and conditions, the dollar value of the contract, and then do the award. And the time that it takes to do that is really going to be a function of the acquisition agency that's handling it. Okay. In other cases, what you might find, and we have found this already in the short time that we've been doing this, that a government customer may look at a video and say, oh, this presenter presented a particular use case. Well, I have a different use case, but I think this technology fits my use case just as well as the one that's been presented. So that may prompt a little bit of discussion between the government customer and the submitter as to, what are their feelings about using that technology for the different use case. So I haven't answered the question as far as the time, but in all cases, like I said, I believe that having eliminated the need to go through this, proposals, submissions, and all the other good stuff, and having it start at the awardable stage in the program, just comes down to, I guess you can call it, if you want to call it a phase of the program, you can call it negotiations. It's the customer and the submitter sitting down saying, what do we want to do together?
Can non-DoD government organizations access the marketplace? As of right now, as of today, the answer is no. However, that is in the plan. Our our desired end state is to absolutely have non-government, non-DoD government organizations access the marketplace. Jean, who are the evaluators? That's a good question.
The evaluators come from a pre-selected list, or let's say a scrubbed list of academia who fit into the category as subject matter experts, in these fields. So we have academia, we have some industry representatives, and the industry is not representing the companies that they're coming from. They're representing themselves as being SMEs in a particular technology. And of course, the government side to provide both SME support and also application support, how the user would view something like this. So that's all factored in. There's been a tremendous number of controls that have been put on of the number of evaluators that we have. They've been scrubbed. They've had, like I said, all the legal clearances that are necessary and the non-disclosure clearances. So we're very confident that we have a good set of evaluators that can do the job and not jeopardize the integrity of the information that's being provided.
Jean, so someone's asking, so this seems to remove the long typical milestone A, B, and C program process, as well as the RFI, RFP, correct?
I would say the answer is yes, but, okay. And the but to my statement is the fact that you may have a particular customer who looks at this and says, okay, yep, like the technology, know it fits, will potentially work in my application. But in order to write the contract, you may have to do a cost proposal. I need to see what your intellectual property is and what your pricing is and so forth and so on. So that there may be a need for that. Again, that depends on the discussion and the customer.
So a number of people, I'm just going to answer this in a blanket way. A number of people are asking about the selection criteria for acceptance. What are the things that we're looking for, the evaluators are looking for, what makes a good video? A lot of questions along that line. I'm going to just briefly say, if you read the announcement, there was a rubric in there. Best practice, top 5 tip for getting your video accepted, make sure you read the announcement thoroughly. If you kind of like glaze over it or don't read it at all, you're not putting yourself in the best possible position. Read the announcement thoroughly and get into the rubric. The rubric is what the evaluators use to assess whether you've hit all the marks. If you follow the rubric to a T and make your video, aligning right with that rubric, you're going to be in good shape. So that covers actually like a lot of the questions.
Yeah, let me just mention there's some I guess some specific guidance that I've provided to everyone that I've talked to about the marketplace. And there's 4 elements that we're really looking for in those videos. One of them is to define what your problem statement is. What are you trying to solve? Okay, the second thing is, what is your solution? And we're looking for, the scientific basis for that solution, so we know that it makes some sense and it's doable. The third is, what is the value to the DoD? So there's got to be some value, in increased productivity, whatever the case is. Okay, and the last one is, what differentiates your solution from all the other solutions that might be in the marketplace or elsewhere for solving that particular problem? If you can cover those 4 things, and they're contained, that's why I do want to make a comment. We have received in many cases stock, business development type videos from companies. Companies have come in and had one on the shelf and said, oh, I'm just going to throw this video in. Those have not worked out very well for the companies, okay, because they didn't really cover the essence of what was being looked for. So, you submitted a video, great, but it was so general in nature that nobody understood exactly how it fit into the Tradewind Marketplace or the problem set that was trying to be addressed. So I would avoid just taking something you have on the shelf. You have 5-minute video, use the 5 minutes, answer the questions, look at the rubric. As Fiona said, the rubric is the tool that the evaluators use to evaluate each of these videos. And that's all published in the announcement.
Agreed. Jean, it looks like we got through all of our questions for now. Let's continue on with the slide deck. And thank you so much for everyone who's dropping questions, and keep them coming. We want to make sure we get all your questions answered. We want to make sure that when you leave this call that you feel like you have a really strong handle on the marketplace and how to move forward with it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
We have some technical focus areas, technology focus areas that are listed in the announcement. The ones that you see, the first 5, for the first 5 focus areas are really strategic focus areas. They're pretty general in nature. You could probably fit almost anything you want to submit as part of that. But just to ensure that you have the opportunity to pick a particular focus area, and one that is meaningful to both the judges and to yourself, we've listed the last one, which is discovering blue sky technology applications. So anything that doesn't fit in the top 5 will certainly fit into the last category. Consider that something like an other category. The judges do look at the compliant, if you want to call it compliance, of what's being presented to what the focus area as stated in the submission is. But like I said, these are pretty general in nature. These will change over time as more and more government customers begin to look at the value of the marketplace. I fully expect that we're going to start seeing requirements, focus areas, however you want to call it, coming from the potential customers, saying, all right, listen, I have a focus area like this. I can't think of an example right now. I would like you to include that in your announcement so that I attract more potential submitters to those needs that I specifically have. So you're going to see changes in the announcement and in the rubric as time goes on. And I suggest to you very strongly that you keep an eye on, even if you're not going to submit, become part of the AI, Tradewind AI marketplace, and you'll be updated every time a new announcement comes out. So that's an important thing. So you can see how that changes.
Jean, someone's asking if they have solutions in more than one of these focus areas, should they submit multiple videos? Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, that's a good question. I thank you for that. I asked that when you submit your video, what we don't want a 5-minute video that covers, 10 technologies. Okay, if you have a technology, each should be on a separate video, so that we only have 5 minutes. So give the judges at least a focus that they're going to go to. We have had, by the way, in previous submissions, we've had a single company submit 3 or 4 videos, each in a different either technology area or a different technology, and that's fully acceptable. In fact, it's encouraged. So you can do that. You can do that in any given month. You can do that over a number of months, whatever is more comfortable for you.
Somebody was asking about, they were checking the stats on their company's website, their company's website proper, and they didn't see, any particular government person going on that site. I don't know that that's a good way to gauge whether or not your submission. No. Yeah.
It's no. The government can be looking at that and has not decided to leave a comment at this point. So the only way that the only footprints that you'll see on that on your particular submission will be those that are listed in the comment section. Again, I would say you have to give it a month or so. The government is as new to this as you are. So they're exploring the marketplace. They're beginning to get comfortable with the marketplace. And we know because of discussions that they are perusing the marketplace, and they're seeing what value it's going to be to them. So as they get more into it, I would expect there's going to be more interaction, especially in that comment section. They may get on there and say, hey, looked at your video. Great idea. Don't have any use for it right now, but I'm going to tell my colleagues that you have it. You may see something like that. But like I said, I think as we begin that dialogue, which we're hoping to create between the submitters and the government, I think you're going to see more of that call it interactive type situation.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Gene. So exactly, this is new for everyone. So while we're trying to educate all of you about how this works and how we can make this a massive success for everybody, we're also doing the same thing on the government side. There is a learning curve here. It is a little bit like trying to move the Titanic. This is a completely new thing, very novel, completely out of the box. And that's why we're doing these webinars. But rest assured, the more we do them, the more industry and innovators will get it and get used to it. And the same thing is happening on the government side in parallel. Gene, someone was asking about the actual company pages on the marketplace itself. They're asking, when a government customer is perusing the marketplace, will they just see that company's video, or will they have access to the entire page that company has on the marketplace?
Oh no, it's the whole page.
Okay.
It's whatever you've been asked to submit, which is the video plus some of the metadata that we asked to go through, the written description plus focus area and so forth. Be it known that only the government can see your video. So at the present time, no other company can see your video, or no other academic organization. So there is no cross, if you want to call it, contamination between the videos. Now, there has been some suggestions, and I'm just going to throw this out, that there was a suggestion made, well, maybe somehow can you figure out a way where at least the technology, at least the technology areas that a company is working in may be shared with other companies to foster some teaming arrangements between companies. And that's something we're looking at, haven't figured it out yet, but how to protect what you're submitting at the same time, giving you an opportunity to to build your own ecosystem with potential vendors.
Okay, so we talked about the first 5 bullets here. Someone is asking about Blue Sky. Someone's asking about Blue Sky Technologies, and I'll just answer that quickly. Earlier, I mentioned, you want to respond to a need that the government has, but sometimes the government doesn't know what it doesn't know. If you have a technology solution that kind of answers a problem that the government doesn't know it has, is sort of predictive in some way, is sort of answering a problem that hasn't come to the fore just yet, is a solution to an issue that the government hasn't explicitly stated, hey, we need a solution to X, Y, and Z. If you have one such technology, that's referred to as a Blue Sky technology. It's basically a solution to a problem that the government may not know it has yet. Gene, do you want to touch on that? I mean, I think it's...
No, I think that's enough. Yeah.
Okay, so we have, in the interest of time, we have 10 minutes left. What I'd like to do is go to our next slide where I cover the top 5 best practices. This is your cheat sheet for how to submit a great video. So we touched on this. Do your homework. Make sure you read the announcement, and I'll show you where to find that easily if you don't already know. And make sure you read through it, very, very closely. There's a lot of clues in there about what we're looking for. And in there, Appendix B is the rubric. Follow the yellow rubric road. Did you see what I did there? So number two is you want to adhere to the rubric. That is basically your cheat sheet. We're basically giving you the answers to the test. The rubric it's the answers to the test. The evaluators are going to look at your video, and they have the rubric right alongside your video and say, did this video answer all these questions that I need answered on this rubric? So make sure you follow the rubric. We had a couple of companies submit, videos that just didn't address anything. To Jean's point earlier, just because you have a marketing video from 5 years ago doesn't mean you want to submit that as your video submission. I think that's a lot, that's an opportunity loss right there. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is make a different video specifically answering the rubric requirements. Utilize all your resources. There are a lot of resources available to you. We went through a lot. We made a concerted effort to make sure that we were giving you all the tools you needed to be successful. So what I'll do now is stop sharing here, and I'll start. Yeah.
Fiona, before you go to that, or while you're preparing for that, I just wanted to mention, there is, and I'm sure those of you who have done proposals before understand this. For those who have not, I suggest strongly that, you read the announcement, read the rubric, do your video, but then I would do a compliance check, look at your video, and then look at those other resources that are provided to you and make sure that that video answers those questions. In every case that we have had we did the feedback sessions, I mentioned, the biggest comment that was made, I think, by all of those vendors that were not selected, when I said, well, it was in the announcement, did you read the announcement? And they said, no, we didn't. I said, did you look at the rubric? No, we didn't look at the rubric. So that was really the problem. They didn't know what they were presenting against. So
yeah, that's a great point.
I just throw that out. So
yeah, no, absolutely. You want to adhere to the rubric, make sure you've read the announcement, and then to Jean's point, go back and just double, triple check. And remember, Jean, remember that one video where we couldn't even hear what they were saying? You also want to go back and check that there are no technical issues with your video. So one of the top 5 tips is utilize all available resources. This is your resource source right here. You're going to go on to tradewinai.com, and right up top, you'll see a Solutions Marketplace tab right there. That is your one-stop shop. On there, you will, let me make sure this is expanded enough. On there, you will have access to everything that we have made available to you to be successful here. Obviously just a couple of words explaining what the marketplace is. This is what is Tradewind Solutions Marketplace. This video itself is a couple minutes. It's a beautiful video that gives you an overview of the marketplace. Right here, here's your bread and butter, video tips. Okay, these 3 videos will, aside from the rubric and the announcements, this is where you're going to get the nitty-gritty tips on what you want to do, what you don't want to do, what you need to pay attention to, what you don't need to pay attention to, what we're looking for, what we're not looking for. These videos are very, very helpful. Make sure you watch these and take notes as you go, and make sure you implement those tips into your videos. Here's the announcements. So if you don't know where to find the announcements, right up there, tradewinai.com, go into Solutions Marketplace, the announcement right there, you download it right from there, and that's where the rubric is, Appendix B. And then we have some frequently asked questions. Jean, did you have something?
no.
Okay. So that is your one-stop shop. Now, some people have asked, how do I get into the marketplace? Well, tradewinai.com, click on Solutions Marketplace, get all your information here. Now, some of you are, I would suspect many of you are already members of the Tradewind Exchange, the Tradewind ecosystem that I mentioned. That is how you get into the marketplace. So if you already have a login, if you're already a member of the exchange, you will just go in and log in, right? And it's going to ask you for your email and just get right in. And from there, you'll get to the marketplace. If you don't have an account with the Tradewind Exchange, the Tradewind ecosystem, you're going to go to Join Us. And it's going to ask you who you are. You are from an academic institution? Are you industry? I would suspect most of you on this particular webinar are not government. Government has a separate registration. If you're industry, you're going to go right on to register. Now, what they're going to do is, you can drop your email address in there. Make sure you use your company email address. they're going to ask, the system is going to check whether or not maybe you already have an account and you forgot that you created an account way back when, or maybe you have an account with a different ecosystem. It's going to check. It's either yay or nay. And if it's not, you're going to go through like, I think it's like 3 or 4 fields, super, super easy registration process. Just a couple of fields and boom, you're in the exchange, you're in the ecosystem. And guess what? From there, you're going to get to the marketplace, and you're going to start navigating and start perusing around there. But again, you want to make sure you spend a decent amount of time in the Solutions Marketplace tab on here, because that's where you're going to get all your nitty-gritty tips. So we did. This is new, right? This is new for everyone. And we're just out here, evangelizing to make sure people understand how to put in a great submission. We had some great submissions. That's why we have, a bunch of companies that have already been accepted into the marketplace. But we also had a few that, maybe didn't do all their homework, and that's okay. We're here to help you. So let's go back to screen share and get back to some of these tips. Okay, so again, read the announcement, read the rubric, utilize all your resources, the helpful how-to videos right there on the tradewindai.com, the FAQs, LinkedIn. I hope that, most of you, if not all of you, are connected with us on LinkedIn. You just type in Tradewind, you'll see us. We have over 1,000 followers. I post every day throughout the day, every week throughout the week. I'm constantly putting posts out there with different events like this and others, helpful tips. And we started doing a lot of memes. So a lot of my posts are kind of entertaining. So if nothing else, you'll get some entertainment for your day. But if you don't follow us on LinkedIn, please do. And I made a separate tip for this because it's just so important. There are a lot of really good nuggets in the how-to videos. If you follow the guidance in there, you'll be putting yourself in a winning position. And then the last tip is, if you have any questions, just send us an email, support@tradewindmarketplace.com. And just a quick note, the support goes to tradewindmarketplace.com, but I don't want there to be any confusion. Our website is tradewindai.com, because the Tradewind is actually an umbrella of Tradewind itself. The program proper is just an umbrella of a lot of different tools and suite services that fall into the Tradewind suite, and Marketplace is one of them. And as things develop, it'll start to make more sense. But as of right now, Marketplace is just one piece of the Tradewind umbrella. But our website is tradewindai.com, but the support goes to tradewindmarketplace.com. I don't want there to be any confusion. But and just some other things that came up. Don't take an old marketing video about your company and submit it. That's not going to address the rubric. It's probably not going to put you in a great position. Yes, each technology, if you have multiple technologies, make one video for each technology. It does not have to be expensive. Literally, you can make a video on your cell phone. As long as we can hear you, as long as you're answering the rubric, as long as you're making it clear your solution's value proposition, those things are what's going to help you. And to Jean's point, make sure you do a compliance check. We have 60 seconds left. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay. Are there communities on Tradewind? There are communities on the Tradewind exchange, on the actual ecosystem. There are communities on there, absolutely. There are a handful of questions that I don't know that we're going to get to, just a few, but we can get with those people offline. Jean, do you have any pressing last minute thoughts that you want to share before we wrap up?
No, I think just to say that this is, I've been doing acquisition for a long time. This is probably the simplest form of acquisition that I've seen yet. And the experience over the last 3 months has been very, very positive, both from the submitters, the evaluators, and the government customers. So we have, of course, a lot of lessons learned, but I think we're going in the right direction, and I think this is going to make a positive impact. And we'd love to have you participate. And the last thing I want to say is our goal is to make every video that's submitted awardable. So if the first shot through you have not made it as awardable, we will work with you until you get your video awardable. So with that, I'll close. And thank you very much for your attention and for your questions.
Thank you all for joining us, and thank you again to ATARC for putting this together. You guys have been wonderful partners for us, and we appreciate you constantly doing this. Thanks to everyone, and we will see you all again shortly. Thank you.